Okay, everybody, I just wanted to record this Substack exclusive little short video on the news that you may have seen today on Wednesday, the 20th of May, that the government is in talks with the big supermarkets to see if it can help us all with the cost of living crisis, which they created, by fixing the price of grocery staples. Price of half a dozen eggs, a loaf of bread, milk, some of the other things that you would probably always want to buy as part of your grocery shop. And it goes without saying that this is an incredibly stupid idea. Really, really stupid idea. And let me explain why it's a really stupid idea and why I can say this. And that's because I spent my commercial life, over 45 years of it, I think, roughly, in the grocery industry, the food and drink industry. I know I spent a lot of time in it. Let's put it like this. I've dealt with all the big supermarkets, I've supplied all sorts of stuff, right? So what Labour are talking about is it's fundamentally demented. If they think that they can set a price for product A, and that's what that product will be sold at, then they are denying the free market. The best arbitrator of how much you pay for your grocery staples is the free market. If one grocer sells it too much, if Sainsbury's sell it too expensively, and you can get it in Tesco, you'll go to Tesco. It's the free market. But lefties don't get that. The John Swinney's at the same thing in Scotland. Labour's at the same thing elsewhere in England and Wales, and undoubtedly in Northern Ireland they'll probably try to do the same thing. It won't work, and here's why it won't work. They're trying to say, well, it would just be the big supermarkets. We'll set the price. They will agree the price that they will sell. So if Tesco decide that, yeah, we're going to set the price of eggs at, I don't know, whatever it is, £2 for a dozen eggs, then their margins, they will not allow their margins to be diluted. The retailer, okay. So the people who will have to have their margins diluted is the supplier of the eggs. So you crush the farmer. That's what you do with this kind of stupidity. Or alternatively, the farmer tries, whoever's producing the product that's being price controlled will produce an inferior product. Maybe the bread isn't just as good a bread, but even bread doesn't work anyway. We're going to, set the price of a loaf at a given price. How can you do that? I mean, what sort of loaves? All loaves? I mean, I buy a sort of particular chia loaf, if you will. It costs me about £3. You're going to set that at a pound? Oh, just some loaves. You're going to do that, are you? Right. I say, absolutely zero understanding of how the market works. Then they say, well, look, it's okay. We're going to have an exemption from the price control for convenience stores. They say that. Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda have thousands of convenience stores within their empires. So you can't do that. So what the Asda convenience store won't have its bread price set, but the Asda supermarket will. You're gonna do how's that gonna work then? Again, complete ignorance of the market from the socialists in power. And then, of course, the other thing is, well, okay, then, well, we'll sort that out some way. And anyway, we're still going to let the small independent convenience stores not be price controlled. Okay, but you're then going to control the big supermarkets. So people will drive past the small convenience stores to the big supermarkets to get the cheaper product, which the government is now controlling the price. Honestly, this sort of idea, this thinking is straight out of the communist playbook. It really is. This is the sort of stuff that they've tried in so many of the Eastern communist countries. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Government should keep the hell out of our supermarkets, out of our foods, out of our drinks. Get out of it. Go away. You will only make things worse. As I said at the beginning, the free market, it's not perfect, obviously. And yes, you got to look out for, cartels and stuff like that. But honestly, as someone who's worked in it, the grocers themselves, the big retailers, work in pretty small margins. Most manufacturers work in pretty small margins as well. So you'll get prices moving up and down. For example, the energy price at the moment, at the energy shock, has impacted into manufacturing costs. And that will reflect itself in prices, which you will be paying next month and the month after that and the month after that again. Trust me in that one. Today's inflation has dropped news is a temporary blip due to what the government did last month in April with the price cap. Just wait till you get to July. Actually, August. Wait till August till you see what inflation's going to be like. But leaving that to one side, the whole thing here is that the government is wanting to control the free market. And that should worry us all. That's a totalitarian communist instinct, and it's manifest with this Labour government. And Andy Burnham, I'm sure, would be just as keen in doing it as whoever else in the government thinks that this is a good idea. But, if government was actually serious about helping us all, yeah, here's two things it could do. It could cut our taxes, couldn't it? Or it could cut fuel duty. Those would both instantly help the British people. Government doesn't want to do that. Because what government wants to do is keep taking your money so it can splash it up against the wall, so it can give it to the parasite class, so it can give it to Zelensky, same thing as the parasite class. So that's the reality of it all. This idea about fixing grocery prices is most stupid. And when they say, oh, but it's voluntary, oh, come on. I mean, anyone who's any inside track in this will understand that this simply cannot work. But the key thing is, it's the sort of idea that a communist would have.